Love Them Knives channel. We have knife results from knife testing back. Gonna go over this as quickly as possible. These other videos are just taking too long, but we have various and sundry knives. I'll leave a list in the description section. You can look at the list with the a one-shot HRC. What was it? Was it real or not? All these were real except for one stinker that's not in the picture completely, and that was just a different deal. Any case, all of them tested as real, whatever the advertised steel was, but the HRCs are varying, so we're going to go through that. We'll go through it quickly. A lot of people have been bugging me about the Maxace M, the M390 one with G10, so we have that one tested, and we did the Anthropos, that kind of thing. Also the Buck, Silver Fox in CPM20CV. So we've got some interesting ones. Here's the list. If you just, I know the current media, it's like you turn on the TV and every little shot's like 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, because nobody has any attention span left, apparently. So if for all of you who are accustomed to that, here's your one shot. You can just take a screenshot of this and you got everything that I'm going to have in the video. Here are all the knives. Here's the actual HRC, and off to the side in the brackets are the HRCs that Blade Banter, he did the research, he's got the spreadsheet, give you the link to the spreadsheet, and he says these are the appropriate HRC ranges for these particular steels. Okay, so there you go. Without my hand in the way, and there we're going to shoot right out of here and go forward. Kershaw launch. This is the launch 6 right here. You can see it's CPM 154. Nice knife. I really like it. It's a particular color for a particular distributor. Any case, CPM 154, yes it is, and the HRC is 61. That's really good. And here's your particulars as far as the breakout of the elements. We're just going to shoot on through it. The hell with it. We're taking too damn long in the past, so we're just going to get it going. The Kevin John Harpoon, which is right here. I think Kurt, out of the hundreds of knives he's had flow through his hands, he goes, this is his favorite to date of all the knives. He put an Instagram posting out there going, this is the most tremendous knife I think I know that I've ever had in my hands. And Kurt, I can't disagree with you at all. This is so beautiful. These Kevin John knives are world class, absolutely. And this one is called the Harpoon. It's M390. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Beautiful knife. What's the HRC? 59.6. So yeah, 60 to 62 for M390. We're 4/10 off. So great. Here's your elements. That's it. Now, the Harpoon, of course, it has under this carbon fiber, which is beautiful. You like this pocket clip? How about that? Nice. But the actual scales underneath are titanium. They're TI-64. TI-64, they do have that in their software suite, so it identifies it, and here's your elementals. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful knife all the way around. Civivi Anthropos. Of course, these are in D2. I sent this one in. Heck, let's just get it tested. It's an Isham design. Really nice knife. Civivi's been doing a great job on these. And it's 60.8. So that's incredible. That's really, really good. And yes, their software does identify D2. So it says it's D2. And here's your element breakout. Love that Anthropos. And I bought this one. I succumbed to this. Beautiful. From Silver Knight, their website, you can get this Silver Fox, or SK, I'm sorry. From SK Blades, you can get the Silver Fox. Trying to go too fast. Now I'm misspeaking. You know, nickel silver bolsters, it looks like. And this is CPM20CV. I bought this because my buddy Linus over in Sweden got a couple of other buck knives that were S35. We didn't send them in for testing. I just sent them on to him. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to finally pull the trigger on this. And it is gorgeous. And it is, you know, CPM20CV blade with that Boz heat treat. So, without further ado, yes, it's real. And the HRC is 58. So, CPM20CV, as we were looking at that before, is a 56 to 59 HRC range. So 56 to 59, they're at a 58. And here's your elements. All right, next, the Kubey. The Kubey KU203C D2 HRC was 60. And of course, their software does identify D2, the elements, and I'll show you the knife here in a second after you get done. Pause and read that. It's this little stubby beast right here that I got from Kubey. And there's the little HRC dot right there. So, great. I mean, they're holding up really well. The Maxace Balance M390. And here it is, of course, in M390. Got a divot somewhere. Yeah, the divot's right there, you can see. And the HRC is 59.6. Yes, it's real M390. 59.6. So 60 to 62, according to Blade Banter's little range. We're really, really close. And there we go. Obviously, this number is going to vary, you know, from knife to knife. All these knives, you pick out another Launch 6 or another Plague Doctor or whatever, and it's not going to be the exact same HRC. So we just pick some just to see kind of where we are. And then, of course, the Protech with the 154 CM. Somebody said, well, this guy Protech was bragging about they do the heat treat on their 154 CM, that it's superior to S30V, blah, 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 whatever. So I thought, okay, I'll get a 154 CM. And if you're going to get one, you might as well get a good one, right? So this is that Chris Kyle commemorative. And this is a 154 CM. It's a button lock. It's not an automatic. Aluminum, really a pretty knife, and a big knife, pretty big knife, actually. Any case, here we go, HRC 59.3, and yes, it's 154 CM. So, 154 CM, 58 to 62, well, they're right there, aren't they? They're right there, and there's your elements. Keep going. Keep going. Next, Steel Will. The Plague Doctor. Here we go. Took the small one, you know, the little guy, which is actually a normal size knife. Really even a little bit on the big side for that. D2 blade. Great. And yeah, it's got its divot right up there. So what are we doing? Have we got the Plague? We've got the Plague. It's 61.2. So 56 to 62 on the HRC range. This is at the top of the HRC range. D2 here. I've had good and bad on some of the cut jacks and this and that. Some people said it sure doesn't seem to hold an edge for a long time. I said, I think the HRCs are running really good right now, so take a look. Then I've heard other people say they had great performance. So it's a mixed bag. Maybe it just depends on expectations. I don't know. In any case, maybe take this and do some cut and send this off for cut tests or something just to go down that road. Next. Oh, the Dirtbag. We got the Dirtbag knife here. I got this knife from a viewer in Hawaii and sent it on just with some other stuff and said, you're welcome to keep this knife. Just, have at it. I just bought it on a hoot, and it's like 11 point something ounces. It's super heavy, and this was put together. I think this came from either Samir Knives over in DH Gate or Hong Kong Knives Facebook thing. They sell these two. This is Rogue Shark Skike, the Skike model, and so it's a clone of that, and supposedly CTS-XHP. This really surprised me because I thought these knives that they're doing, at least that they were real on the steel, and this one is not. This one is not CTS-XHP. It is like an 8CR or lower, according to Kurt. And the HRC, he kicked it on both sides of the blade. One came up at a 51 and one came up at a 51.8. Now, CTS-XHP, if it was real, should be an HRC of 60 to 65. So this is way, way off. Now, as far as an 8CR, that would be a 56 to 59. It's still super low for that. And I was trying to go through and get the CTS-XHP elements and try and plug them in. And it's just way lacking. This is definitely not CTS-XHP. I satisfied myself on that. Okay. And, well, I guess the one small can, this is his second scan on it. It's a coated blade, but you can scan it here, where it's exposed. And then the titanium scales are real TI-64. So at least, as it reads TI-64, and here's your elements. So complete dud, really disappointing. Makes me wonder about, I had a big field cleaver I got from them, which is a knockoff of the rad cleaver. But, I wasn't going to pay $3,000 for a real rad cleaver. I got to feel just their big, what they call field cleaver. And it was supposed to be CTS-XHP. Eventually, I sold it off, got rid of that. And guess what? Wow, I wonder what that was. So I don't know if I really want to test another one. I sent them a message saying, this ain't right. And we'll see what they say. Okay, we got Bestech. And they sent us a bunch of knives that they had at the SHOT Show in January, and then they sent them on to Blade HQ or Blade HQ. They gave it to Blade HQ at the SHOT Show. Blade HQ wanted the pictures to post on their site for, subsequent listings and stuff. So they had them, and then when we started talking about the HRCs were off on a couple knives that we did for Bestech, then they had Blade HQ send all these knives that were their prototypes over here and had them tested. So now we got a big bunch. I'm just going to run through these real quick. The Bestech Bison in green is a 58.8, which is in the green zone because 56 to 62 is the zone. So this is fine. And here's your elements. And yes, it does say D2 match. So that's the green Bison here in D2. Now, I think that was a really close to a production unit. And here's the black one, which is a carbon fiber. And, of course, they have to shoot it on the edge here. Can't usually get through that coating when they do the PMI testing. But, yes, that's a D2 as well. And it's a 58, so 56 to 62, like I said, that makes it. And there you go. So they're hitting the marks. They just had me do a bunch of these, and I know it looks redundant, but they were wondering if maybe we weren't agreeing with if they do a Rockwell test at their production facility and we Rockwell it and we come up with two different numbers, somebody's off somewhere. So it was just a point of discussion. And here we go, Bestech Ascot. This is a prototype. I don't have a steel match for this because I don't know what steel they used. They didn't use D2. Later they came out, when this actually came out, and where's that Ascot? Here it is. This has no writing on it. This was a pure, I don't even think they had named this back in January. So what steel it is, it looks more like an MOV type steel. So that's what they put on this prototype one that they dragged with them from China over there. But the HRC is 60, whatever it is really good. And here's the elements, but it does look like more of a MOV steel and HCR or something like that. And so that was a whole nothing. What we were interested in was the HRC. So there you go with that. Actually, I have an Ascot now that's rolling around here somewhere. But of course, it's a production one now. So now they are D2. Let me see, malware. Okay, silver malware right here. We've knocked it into the pile. So I call it a silver malware. This is just a standard, the full titanium one. S35VN. Let's see what we got here. They popped it twice. So let me see if he got it on one side and then the other. Oh, he hit it twice right there. Okay, so the HRC was 60.8 and 60.2. So excellent. S35VN, of course, but 58 to 60 or 58 to 61. S35, 58 to 61 is the range. So they're at the top end of the range there. And there you go, your elements. Flip that, put this back. And then we have the malware, the titanium scales, and they read a TI3-25, and so that's what I've got there. And there's your elementals on the titanium. Next, then we have a carbon fiber version, and it's right here. Now, they were saying that when you get a coated blade, the HRC runs, and yes, they did pop it a couple times. It runs a little lower, and it sure seems to bear out because this one has, the silver one has higher HRCs than this coated one. And why, I don't know. And maybe you have the answer, because I asked Kurt, he didn't know. I asked the Bestech rep in the US, his name is Wes. And so Wes Gear, I asked him, and he wasn't sure why a coated or a black wash blade would HRC lower, but it does. And so these right here, you're good. Here, you're a little under. And it's a big question. Anybody wants to do the research or come back and say why, I don't know. I didn't know that they'd be reheating a blade to do that. Why they would throw the hardness or the tempering off, I don't know. But nevertheless, it is what it is. And that's our bunch of knives. And I think we've done it in 18 minutes instead of 48 minutes. Thank God for small favors. Once again, here's the list. And we didn't exactly go alphabetically. I try and put these together because I send these on to Blade Banter, and then he plugs all this information of all these sheets of paper and all the elements and everything into the spreadsheet. So that will be out sometime in the future. I mean, you got to give him space to get all this stuff plugged into the sheets once he gets it. Batch 14, we're all done. Thank you so much. I hope this was informational to you. I mean, the Silver Fox, the Kevin John knife, the automatic Kershaw, the Balance, Anthropos, Protech. At least we got some, the steel wheel and the Kubey. So those are all interesting knives, a good spread. Thank you so much. We'll try and not do many Bestech going forward, at least for a while. That was a bunch. Take care, my friends. You know what we do around here. We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.